the futures. I love the futures. I give you the future example. Ich werde meine E-Mails checken. So this is indeed in the sense of I will check my emails. I've translated it literally here, so but I think you can figure it out. I will check my emails. Yeah, and it has the same meaning. In German, it would be a little bit over the top. Then if you say, ich werde meine E-Mails checken, it's unnecessary. In German, you would use the present tense. Ich checke meine E-Mails. Voila. As simple as that. It doesn't get simple. German is a very simple language when it comes to the logic of it. Yeah, there's a couple of nasty things, of course. But compared to English, the grammar is a piece of cake. So, this is a rather rare occasion in literature. You might find that in very formal texts, and here and there someone might use it for the future. It's all fine. You don't need that actively. You just say, ich checke meine E-Mails if you want to talk about the future. You can add tomorrow or next week to it, and then the future is also very clear. Let's take a look at the advanced future, future 2. And you see, we've done this, ich werde meine E-Mails. And then you have to put checken into the past. And normally you would say, ich habe meine E-Mails gecheckt. But werden takes the second position, so it pushes the habe into the end, and that's all that changes. So you see the similarity between the two. Translate it quickly in your head. And don't worry if you can't. Yeah, it's really something that you very likely haven't seen yet. I will have checked my emails. That's the future 2 in English as well. Whatever you call that in English might be, I actually don't know. I would call it future 2, but it possibly has a different name. Ich werde meine E-Mails gecheckt haben. I will have my emails checked. That's a little different because that means you actually funny. Someone else will do it for you. So it's kind of a passive form, Superjit. Be careful with that. So I will have checked my emails. I just put this here literally so that you see how beautifully it aligns with English. Yeah, and you also realize there's a different sentence order in German than it is in English. Okay, that's the future tense. Let me see whether I have a good example for how to really use it. I don't know. Okay, so just a little, let me go back one step. So normally, and I explained that in other live classes or in the lessons in my course, normally you would add one little word here, and I can actually put that here. Wohl. And wohl means very likely. Yeah. So if you add the word wohl, what would change? I just give that to you. You can ponder on that, and you will find it in my course, of course. So if I write the sentence, ich werde wohl meine E-Mails checken. I check the chat. I'll post it there. What does it mean? What is the difference? Wohl means very likely. And let me put this on top so everybody can easily see it. Ich werde wohl meine E-Mails checken. So if you add wohl to it, you make this an assumption. I will very likely check my emails. So somehow, of course, it has the notion of the future, but whether it happens in the future or not is not really relevant. It's more relevant that it's an assumption, or it's kind of a, yeah, that's all I can say to that. So the wohl is actually more often found with werde and infinitive, with the futur forms, than the actual form. And that's something you need to know, because the assumption is close. Because in English you use this, I will have, or I will check my emails. You use this for the future, but in German you don't. And that's something that messes people's minds up. Very often you even read that people put the future tenses on an equal place, but other than the form, they have nothing in common, or not much in common. Yeah? Okay, future 3. Anyone an idea what that is? Any advanced learners here? Future 3 you will get after the ad break. It's not yet. I still have a couple of points to show. Now, after the advertisement, you will learn about the future 3. Yeah, stay tuned. Point 6, Konjunktiv 2. Beautiful, beautiful thing. You learn this very soon when you come to Germany, and hopefully also in your German class. Würde plus infinitive. Würde is never found on its own. Yeah, it really always needs a partner, and the partner is always an infinitive, because Würde is dependent on the main verb, because Würde on its own doesn't say anything. Ich würde meine E-Mails checken. And you remember what Würde means, right? I would check my emails. Again, this is a literal translation to show how this is structured. I would check my emails if I were you. So this is a suggestion. More than the first version, we use würde with gern or gerne in the middle. Ich würde gerne meine E-Mails checken. Can you translate that? Do you know what gern means? I would like to check my emails. And here you see the literal translation to check makes a lot more sense, because you have the like in here. Be careful with gerne. By the way, it absolutely doesn't matter whether you say gern or gerne. There's only possibly very few fixed expressions that require the one or the other. Go wild. Yeah, just the one of your liking. Maybe always use gern or always use gerne. Whatever sounds nicer. Yeah, gerne has a syllable more, so at times it might feel more flowy, fluently. I would like to check my emails. I would like my emails to check. Yeah, that's the German structure. So the second example is actually the one that is way more common, and therefore you will find this more in the wild. Gerne is best translated with, give me a second, gerne. The problem here is that in English, like is a verb, it's something you do. But gerne is not a verb, it doesn't change. Yeah, it doesn't get ich gerne, du gernst, er gernt. Gerne simply means with pleasure. So you could translate this sentence here like, I would with pleasure check my emails. Yeah, or with pleasure I would check my emails. So somehow in that direction it makes a lot more sense, because with pleasure doesn't change no matter what person is there. Yeah, but like would change if you say he likes. Yeah, good. So that's the Konjunktiv 2. What's next? Difference I already asked or explained. So the first one I said is an recommendation, an advice. I would check my emails if I were you. And the second one is, happily is a nice word. Thanks, Hedy. A desire, a request. Yeah, I would like to check my emails is a desire. Whenever you would like to do something, yeah, that's what I would call a desire, at least. Okay, so that's a huge difference. And if you are a person that likes to give advice, the first version is very likely what you use more. But human beings seem to be more focused on their desires, and therefore the second one is a lot more prominent. Okay, let's see. Maybe now is the ad break. No, I've done it. Nice. To become. So just remember, it's in 1% of the cases you use werden in the meaning of to become. In all other cases, you don't translate, you just understand it serves, it has a function. So in presence, ich werde Lehrer, I'm becoming a teacher. In Germany, we wouldn't use A with a profession necessarily. It's thinkable, but usually don't. So I become teacher. And of course, there are two past forms of werden. The Präteritum, again, you remember, it's basically the same, just that we don't have any other verb with them. Werde is used on its own. And if it's on its own, it looks like this. Ich wurde Lehrer, you can translate that in your head already, right? I became a teacher. And in the perfect, ich bin Lehrer geworden. And here you have the geworden, because if you think a little bit backwards, is my video freezing for all of you or just for one person? Let me know. And then I hit the panic button. But you can still hear me, right? Give me a little bit feedback in the chat. Ich bin Lehrer geworden. You see, only if you go back here, ich bin Lehrer geworden, that's in the perfect. If you think the sentence back to the present, you will realize werden is used on its own. And only when in the present tense it can be used. Thank you for the feedback. Manish, set the reset button and restart your whole thing, or yeah, you will miss a minute, but you can watch the replay. Then you can use geworden in the past. And as I said, ich bin Lehrer geworden is so rare, you will remember it. Yeah, you might even never forget it after today. So this is the secret of geworden. Now, anyone who is not working with my course yet, anyone who is working with my course, just to make you aware about the beauty. The translation, sorry. You see here the translation between I have become a teacher and I became a teacher. In German, that's absolutely irrelevant. There is no difference between Präteritum and perfect when it comes to meaning or here translation. I want you to be very clear about this. So now, there's a special offer every now and then. I put this in the webinars. I will cut this out in the final version that goes into the course, of course. If you have already purchased the course, I hope you don't regret anything. Yeah, I put a lot of love and energy into it, and not only me, 10 other people as well. And your contribution actually helped creating it and helps me day in, day out, making it even better. We are planning a beautiful shift of things, a beautiful upgrade of everything in the next year, in the beginning of next year. So stay tuned. Well, I wish you'd be done by then, but why not? Take a look. Yeah, maybe your children or children's children, you can tell them about this course, and then they can tell you about how nice it is. So the normal price of this course, and maybe some of you have paid it and some haven't, is $429 US, and also of the B2 course. And the offer also counts for B2, by the way. I offer a wonderful discount of 12.5%. Don't ask where that number comes from, but it's a random number. If you calculate that, it's $54 cheaper. So the webinar price is this. And there's a little fine print here, which you should read. You have to add 16% VAT if you're in Germany. I always like to lecture about the benefits of taxes. The VAT goes to German schools, streets, health care, and God knows where. And of course, they also do a lot of nonsense with that money. But the money just goes in here, out here. So I just pass it on to the German government. I'm a government operative when it comes to taxes. But this is what happens when you're here. But overall, the situation in Germany seems pretty relaxed compared to what I see in other countries. Yeah, that's the benefit of taxes. So I limit this to the first customers after this webinar within the next 2 days. And so the offer actually goes here. I start the A1 to B1 offer. If you want to B2, well, it says, yeah, it doesn't matter. It says 49 available units. I don't know, you have to ignore this. This is just technical setup. And you write me an email, or I open the B2 link in a minute. Yeah. You have to always, as a marketer, you always have to create a little pressure. But you can always contact me if you have any issues with payments, with money. If you make an effort, and a real effort, then I'm always open to listen and look into opportunities. But I always am demanding, so I rarely give something away for free, but I always make it possible for others to get access to the course. Yeah, but I demand a commitment because that's what I do. I commit my life to this, and many other people as well. So I demand that in return. And that's how I see life. I have competition, you might have noticed, and one of the most popular schools, you can write me an email. You go to smartergerman.com and there is somewhere a contact page or something that pops up. Make sure that you don't click on the reviews and then write an email. That happened before. There should be something with Smarter German or michael@smartergerman.com. If you have a domain, you can put anything in front of the @ like the man behind @smartergerman.com. It will always arrive. Yeah, that's true for any web page. So the most popular school charges a lousy $1,100 a month, which if you are a student that actually learns well and manages to get to B1 in 6 months, sums up to $6,600 total. And the total is in this because if it takes you 7 months, it's another $1,100. And the funny thing is, you share a teacher with up to 20 fellow students. You have to be at a fixed place and time. Nowadays, they all go online. Nevertheless, you still have to be at a fixed time somewhere. And they basically just put the offline class online, which makes no sense. Yeah, makes little sense, but this is not online teaching. This is not how it works. Fixed speed. So there is a teacher that actually has a fixed speed and tries to get as many students with her or him as possible. The problem is maybe at best half the people are on that speed, others are slower, others are faster, and you can actually guess what that means for people who are faster and slower. You very often have changing teachers. Teachers get sick, teachers go to a substitute class, they have to substitute other teachers, or they just leave the company. Other people just pay them so little that they frequently change, especially online, one-on-one or group courses. And changing teachers, they will try to sell this to you as a feature, but this is not a feature, that's a bug. Yeah, it's not a good thing because you need kind of confidence, you need trust, you need to establish a relationship. And imagine you have a wife or a man, a husband, and then every day you have a new wife, a new husband. Where would that relationship go? Yeah, it's kind of fun in a way, but it might also be exhausting after a very short time. Yeah, my girlfriend is smiling. I don't know why. Huh? Okay, so that's what you usually encounter for that kind of money. Question is that really what you need and what you want? And that's a question only you can answer. Yeah. So let me offer the B2 thingy. Take your time with this. So the cheapest school in Germany and also worldwide, they are more or less at that rate, but cheaper sometimes. If you go to India, sums up to that. But they have the same issues. Whether it's expensive or not, the quality of your teaching actually depends on the teacher. And of course, if you pay people better, then they might have a better education, they might have more confidence, they might just be better at their job and enjoy it more, which is beneficial. But in the long run, you also find people who work in a community college and are much better for those that get paid well. Yeah. Smarter German, you don't pay monthly. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. You only pay that amount for the same course range, A1 to B1. I just want to show you how much you actually save. And these are not fantasy numbers, these are real numbers. And since yesterday I talked and thought I always want to make my course more accessible, I had this in the past. It cost me more money, which is also why this is 20% more expensive, but at least it allows you to pay it off over the course of 1 year. It doesn't get cheaper than that. And it's only 1 year payment for lifelong access. Lifelong, I'll define a little bit new soon. As long as I'm alive, I will make this accessible for you. Legally, I will reduce it to a certain time. Yeah, because there should be no time pressure on learning German. And this is my philosophy, my deepest conviction. So I don't really like subscription models. This is not a subscription model. I very likely will never offer a subscription model, except for something that makes sense. But right now, it doesn't. Good. No risk at all. You have 30 days to test everything. You can even work through the free lesson. And yeah. But even after purchase, you have 30 days to test it, and you simply have to write me an email and say, hey, Michael, I want my money back. All good. Yeah, I might ask, hey, could you tell me why or why not? But it's not depending on, you get the money back. Yeah, even if you say, I just wanted to play with it, or I just want to annoy you, I don't care. You get your money back, because that's what the money back guarantee says. If you work through the whole course, and I can see that, however, you do this in 30 days and then want your money back, then we have a discussion, because that's obviously not what a money back guarantee is for. Yeah, but that hasn't happened yet.